Chapter 51. A Memorable Memorial. There was a season in my early 60s when editing and producing movies was a short-lived passion. It started when I inherited 50 containers of 8mm film reels from my father. Holding them up to the light, I could tell they were from the 1950s and 60s. This was a treasure trove of memories. I mailed them off to a company back east, who converted them onto a hard drive. It was the beginning of my infatuation with compiling and preserving moments from the past into movies. I created videos for anniversaries and funerals. I was able to piece together segments from the 50 reels to produce a movie about my brother. It showed Stan as a boy, a teenager, and an adult, including his wedding. Such precious memories. I began making short movies with storylines that had the grandchildren dressing up in costumes. Our first movie was called Zombies, which makes us laugh to this day. Altogether, I produced 28 short movies to YouTube for preservation. When my Uncle Everett passed away, I made a video that was shown at his funeral. I included an interview with Aunt Laura describing the comical way in which they met. There were lots of childhood and family photos, but one I had taken a few months before he passed was transcendent. I had no idea Uncle Everett was going to salute me the moment I took his picture. As I was gathering old photos for his service, I found the exact same pose in his military uniform. Placing the picture of him as a soldier in the video, I was able to gradually transform his younger self into the one at age 96. It was priceless. Several people got up to speak at his memorial service. One of them was his daughter Kris, whom I wrote about earlier. She is my favorite cousin, and I adore her to death. She began by saying, "My dad was a man of few words, probably because he couldn't get a word in edgewise." Everyone laughed. However, she didn't stop there. "Everyone knows my mother and I do not see eye to eye. We can't seem to agree on much of anything." Her speech had me gripping the edge of my chair. I turned white as a ghost. "Please, Kris," I pleaded in my head, "don't say anything you're going to regret. This isn't about you." She went on to say emphatically that since everyone was there, she wanted to tell them all at the same time. I cringed. I can't believe she's talking about her relationship with her mother at her father's funeral. She was rather emphatic. Just because we disagree about things doesn't mean we don't love each other. When she said she loved her mother dearly and her mother loved her, my stomach was in knots and I was feeling sick. What else was she going to say? Her voice softened as she said she had the best parents and the best mother a girl could have. My ears perked up. That was different. She continued, "I don't want to wait for my mom's funeral to tell everyone how much I love her. I want to say it now while she's alive." She turned toward her mother and said, "I love you, Mom." Everyone was stunned. There was a moment of silence. I wanted to jump up and clap. That was the best speech ever. Kris stepped down and Aunt Laura followed her to the podium. She shuffled uncomfortably before saying, "How can I follow that?" I suppose she was still in shock, as was everyone else. However, I wanted Aunt Laura to say thank you or something reassuring to Kris. I knew that took a lot of guts. Kris told me it was God who gave her the words and the courage to stand up and say what she did. I believed it because my heart was pounding, my knees were shaking, and initially I thought I was going to faint. And I wasn't even involved with her speech.